Hey y'all, welcome to Homesteading for Health. Today is a big day. Today we are planting the tomatoes. These are the ones that we have hardened off. These are the ones we grew from seed. And today is a little bit of a warm day. Not my preference in planting them, but we've got rain coming tomorrow. And you can see obviously these are ready to go in the ground. So this is a pineapple tomato. This bed we're planting today is basically the slicing tomatoes. So this is a beautiful tomato. If you've never seen one, I highly recommend it. They're beautiful and they're amazing taste. So this one was kind of not thinned, obviously. So what I'm going to try to do is we'll get rid of this guy and I'm going to use these two larger ones. So the first thing I'm going to do is clear off a little spot to clear off this mulch. We have really intense weed pressure here. We have the worst one we have is Bermuda grass. That once it gets in here, it is next to impossible to get out. We also have the crabgrass. We have, there's just too many to name. But this really, really thick layer of mulch is, it's a lifesaver. So you'll see it is very, very thick that we have in here. So what I'm doing is I'm just pulling it away so that I can get to the dirt. And I am trying to create a little bit of space. So I'm going to have a plant here and a plant here. I'm creating a little bit of space in the middle that is dirt to pile when I'm digging the hole, to pile the dirt here so that I don't have dirt on top of my mulch when I go to fill it back in. So I think we've got a decent amount there. So I'm going to try to get our dirt hole there. And y'all know tomatoes like to be buried deep. So I go, especially for this plant, because it is so tall and leggy, I'm going to go super deep. I'm going to switch my tools here to something that'll scoop a little more. Another thing that you want to keep in mind when you are planting, seeding, or even purchasing tomato plants is there are two main types of plants. There are indeterminates and there are determinates. This and everything in this bed is an indeterminate. That means it's going to get tall. It's going to keep growing as long as it can with the weather, with its growing season. It will continue to vine and get larger and larger. And it will continue to set fruit throughout that time. There are determinates that are more of a bush variety. Not to say they can't get fairly large, but they don't get as large as these determinates do. I usually dig as deep as either I hit the bottom or until I run out of decent soil. Because these beds, some of them were filled with like logs and stuff at the bottom. This one is not. This one was filled probably with mulch, but it does have a weed barrier underneath it, so I don't want to poke through that weed barrier. So that's about our max there. So with these guys, if y'all have never planted tomatoes before, you would be amazed at how tough these things are. They don't care so much. Some plants are really finicky with their roots being messed with. Tomatoes are not that way. So I'm not going to keep this guy because we have plenty of others. So he's going to go bye-bye. And these ones, I don't know if you can see on the video, but they have all those little hairs on their stems. I hope you can see that. Every one of those little hairs, when you plant it under the soil in the ground, those can become roots. And so that's the theory behind trying to get them as deeply planted as possible. And so I just split them right down the middle. And I'll plant one, so when you plant them this deep, it's going to be, you know, deeper than the leaves are. So you want to pull whatever leaves are going to be underneath the soil. You don't want to plant the leaves under there. So set him down in there, and I think we probably ought to take off even one more little branch. Then you just fill it back in. Now, in the past, I've heard that it's a good idea to put an eggshell, or some people talk about putting, what is it, an antacid tablet? The idea being the calcium in those prevents blossom end rot. I've done that, and honestly, I haven't really noticed a lot of difference when I do that versus when I don't. So I haven't worried about it here lately. But also, this is nice, fresh, fertile compost under here, so they should get a pretty good balance of the nutrients that they need. All right, so that guy is in, that little pineapple tomato. So I'm going to remulch around him, because tomatoes do not like when it rains and this dirt splashes up on their leaves. They can get fungus, they can get all kinds of stuff. So it's a good idea to mulch around tomatoes for multiple reasons. That's one, but also because it keeps the water in, right? That's the one that most people think of. It helps keep stuff from drying out as quickly, which is very, very true. And that does help, especially in the heat of summer. One thing I do want to mention is if you're using wood mulch like this, you're going to want to pull it away from the very base of your seedlings. Pests can hide in it, and you can see I have some roly-polies, some people call them pill bugs, and they have been eating the base of the stems of these little tomato plants. So I went through and I pulled the mulch away from each of those seedlings after I got done applying all the mulch. All right, and now we got to this other little pineapple, so I'm going to pull that one off. And let's see where he sits. He's pretty good. Now, this is about a foot deep bed, maybe a little bit deeper. We built this with 2x12s. But I have a bed over there that is built with, I think they're 2x6s maybe. And so when you plant your tomatoes and something like that, I have another video, because you're going to want to plant them horizontally. So you literally dig a trench and you plant them in there. So if you are in that situation where your bed is not as deep as this, where you can really dig down in there, planting them horizontally will definitely help. So let's fill this all back in. Still got a little bit of dirt on the mulch, but next rain, I'm sure it'll just wash right through. So no big deal. So there you go. So I'm going to water these guys in real good. And then I'm going to carry on down the rest of the row. I've got, this is a 16-foot bed. So I have, let's see if I can show you. So I have all these left to plant. So in a 16-foot bed, I have, I believe it is 16 plants, because they're about 2-foot spacing. So I have 15 tomato plants, and this one right here is actually a tomatillo. So these are all my slicers for this year. So there you have it. So I got a little bit of work ahead of me, but I just wanted to kind of fill y'all in on where we were at and maybe offer a couple tips in the process. So thank you for joining us, and I'll see y'all in the next video.